Hi, viewers. My name is Upesh Jain, host of the Exec Talk channel. Today, we'll discuss some financial matters. These pertain to wealth building, self-finance, and kind of are the backdrop into wealth building. So, the topic I want to talk about today is overspending and the psychology behind it. Why do humans overspend? And what is the real reasons why we overspend, and if there's a possible corrective course that we can take to prevent that. So, if you really look at overspending, it's a common human experience. We've all done it at some time, but it's often driven by deep-seated psychological factors rather than a simple lack of willpower. Psychologists have explained these behaviors as heavily influenced by human emotion, how you're feeling at that time, your habits that pertain to your upbringing, possibly, and social pressures rather than, 2 plus 2 equals 4, any logical reasons that go behind it. So social comparison also plays a role. As I said, we tend to spend more when we see people around us, our neighbors, our friends, people at work, or influencers. These days, social media showing off their lifestyles. So recognizing these psychological triggers um, is the first step towards controlling overspending. And we'll talk about it some more by becoming mindful of why we spend, setting clear budgets, focusing on our long term goals rather than short term pleasure. We can break the cycle and develop healthier money habits. So, in order to do that, let's try to understand the reasons, the psychological reasons behind this a little better. Here's a breakdown of key psychological reasons why we overspend. So, number one is emotional and psychological triggers. Shopping and spending are often used as a way to manage emotions. The act of buying something can provide or give you a temporary high due to the release of dopamine in the brain's reward system. This creates a cycle where people turn to shopping to cope with feelings of stress and sadness, uh, boredom, loneliness, desire of self improvement, uh, etc. So, for stress and sadness, shopping can be a distraction from negative emotions, offering a brief sense of pleasure and control. It's like an escape from a problem you have. Number two, sub bullet within the emotional domain is boredom. When we're bored, we're doing same things repeatedly over and over again. We don't have a spark, so to speak, or some exciting stuff going on. Shopping can feel like an entertaining activity. Then loneliness. For some, shopping can be a way to seek human connection. So you go to the mall, you see other people, you it just gives you a chance to get out of the house. Even if it's just a fleeting interaction with the cashier or the validation of a like on a purchase you made on a social media post. Then you have the desire for self-improvement. People may overspend because they believe a purchase will make them a better, more effective, or more interesting person, or you'll be in the limelight, or something like that. This is often an unrealistic expectation that the item itself will fundamentally change their lives. So, buying, for example, an expensive watch or an expensive suit just for self improvement reasons might not be the best way of self improving yourself. Number two, social and external influences. Our spending habits are also heavily influenced by the people around us and the messages we are exposed to by the media, advertising, etc. So, number one, social comparison. Like I said, we've all heard the phrase keeping up with the Joneses. The desire to fit in or impress others is a powerful motivator for overspending. It's a case of one-upmanship that somebody has X, so I'll buy Y to one up them. We compare ourselves all the time to peers, friends, and family and feel pressure to have the same possessions, take similar vacations, or live a certain lifestyle to maintain social appearance. This is particularly prevalent in the age of social media, where curated and aspirational content can create an unrealistic standard of living. People might just post their best pictures with a message around it that might be fake or not true, and a projection of what it actually was. And the person on the other side can get influenced by that and want to do similar or the same things. Then you have media and advertising. Companies use psychological tactics to entice consumers. They create a sense of belonging or aspirational value around their products, making you feel that you need them to be part of a certain lifestyle or group, something that creates an aura or a factor of exclusivity or uniqueness that nobody else has to make you stand out. Another area is peer or and parental influence. While parents can instill positive financial habits, peers and media often encourage less responsible spending behaviors, particularly among young adults. Also, conversely, if kids see, rash or remiss kind of behaviors in parents in terms of spending habits, then they might adopt those through osmosis, which is not good for them in the long run. The third big category for overspending is cognitive biases. Our brains often take shortcuts to make decisions, and these biases can lead to irrational financial influences or choices. So, number one is instant gratification. So, we all as humans are wired to prefer immediate rewards or instant gratification over future ones. This makes it difficult to save for long term goals like retirement when a new gadget or a fun night out offers an immediate hit of pleasure. It's the gotta have it kind of mentality where if a new phone comes out, you want to replace your old phone with the new phone, even though it might be working just fine. So that's one, mental accounting. This is a tendency to kind of justify within your own mind, or the tendency to mentally categorize money into different accounts, like vacation money or fun money or windfall money or pleasure money. This can lead to reckless spending of found money, like that, like a tax refund or a bonus that you might have gotten, because we don't view it as a part of our core financial picture, even though all money is fungible. Uh, Another reason is sunk cost fallacy. This bias describes our tendency to continue a behavior or investment because of the resources that might be time, money, or effort we're already committed, even if it's not the best decision going forward. For example, continuing to throw money at a broken car because you've already spent so much on it. And eventually, it's the law of diminishing returns that uh, kicks in, and there's not much return on that. Uh, the Another effect is the anchoring effect. We rely too heavily on the first piece of information we might receive. A store might list an item at an inflated original price, making a smaller discounted price seem like a great bargain, even if it's still more than the item is worth. So, or things like liquidation sales or going out of business, and just uh, creating an environment where you your mind basically pushes you into buying the object. So as we saw, there's a lot of psychological reasons that kind of take over your logical reasoning, and gravitates towards emotional reasoning to make purchases or spend money. So what are some of the corrective actions or the practical ways to combat overspending? So number one, you should or at least try to identify your triggers. The best way to do that is to keep a journal or a spreadsheet to track not just what you buy, but also how you were feeling and what prompted the purchase. This self awareness is the first step. You need to understand what kind of circumstances were you in, or what was your thought process when you made the purchase. Create a cooling off period. In a lot of stores in America, you can still return objects. So, when you feel the urge to make a non-essential purchase, uh, you can, and if you have already purchased it, you can bring it home, not open it, sit on it for a couple of days, and then perhaps return it, or maybe just wait a day or two before making the purchases, defer the purchase. This can help the initial excitement fade and allow you to think rationally and make a more rational decision. The Another reason is use cash instead of any kind of card. Studies show that we spend significantly more with credit cards than with cash. Handling cash or handing over physical money makes the transactional feel more real, tangible, and painful. It's like giving a piece of you to somebody, and it increases the awareness of what you're spending. Using cards doesn't appear that real, and you also lose track of how much you've spent on the card. Uh, One other thing you can do is set financial goals. Visualize and work towards specific long-term goals like saving for a down payment, paying off a debt, making an extra payment. This helps reframe money as a tool for security and future happiness rather than just for instant pleasure. So, by adopting some of these techniques, you can actually curb overspending and start spending more rationally. Uh, so, that was my talk about overspending and the psychology of money. Hope you're able to make more rational purchases. And in another topic, we'll talk about wealth building. Thank you for listening.